I do it from love. All right, here we go. Here's the song. We're done. Oh, wait. Oh, no. I did not bounce it correctly. That was my mistake. Well, maybe so I was going to bounce the slow version. Maybe we'll listen to the fast version, and then I will upload the slow version, and we can all have.
Wait! I just gotta get this out. Buzzwords are holy words, and estuary is magic. Okay, whatever.
Now this time, this here is a salty little estuary, if you ask me. But then,
Buzzwords are holy words. Buzzwords are holy words. Buzzwords are holy words. And estuary. Buzzwords are holy words. Buzzwords are holy words. And buzzwords are holy words. And estuary is magic. Buzzwords are holy words. 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 And buzzwords are holy words. And estuary. Okay. Wait. I just gotta get this out. Buzzwords are holy words, and estuary is magic. Okay.
now this time, this here is a salty little estuary, if you ask me. But then,
Buzzwords are holy words. Buzzwords are holy words. Buzzwords are holy words. And estuary. Buzzwords are holy words. Buzzwords are holy words. And buzzwords are holy words. And estuary is magic. Buzzwords are holy words. 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 And buzzwords are holy words. And estuary. Okay. Buzzwords are holy words. Buzzwords are holy words. Buzzwords are holy words. And estuary. Buzzwords are holy words. Buzzwords are holy words. And buzzwords are holy words. And estuary is magic. Buzzwords are holy words.
I don't know, love.
Now encompasses everything.
Why is it still processing?
Palestine was a Greek colony for 300 years before Jesus came, and the Greeks, to a great extent, controlled the education.
Right.
And they had a two-tier cosmos, and the little Jewish boys had absorbed that. So when Jesus appeared to his disciples after his resurrection, it wasn't within their paradigm of reality that he could be resurrected. They thought they saw a ghost because their minds were Platonic. And so the Platonic ideas had been salt and light in the lives of the apostles and continued to be. So we see in the New Testament, all of the letters, except Philemon, are fighting against the Platonic and Gnostic ideas, which were very alive and well in all of the churches. And they're fighting with all their might and praying against these things. Well, they failed.
Right.
Because Platonism and Gnosticism have been in the church in every generation since. And people enjoy them. And so we must fight against that as the apostles fought against that, but we mustn't expect instant results because they were great men and clearly powered by the Holy Spirit, and they failed. Mm-hmm. But we still need to fight the good fight and try to bless people and help people and get them away from the two-tiered universe and get them away from language as vomit and get them away from the various dehumanizing and suicidal things that are universal, because evil is universal and death is universal and the devil is everywhere tempting and guiding people into a condition where he can absorb them. Mm-hmm. So it's a tremendous fight, and we just have to take courage and keep fighting.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Well, with your experience with Eastern religion.
Well, welcome. This is the PvP server Monopoly Violins stream. I'm Grimgriz, and it's the 3rd day of November. There's going to be a lot of big turkey slaughter coming up. As you may or may not know, executive producers of this show are Upcycle Club and the German Dragon. So when you're in the hive mind and you see one of those two people say howdy, be sure to say howdy too with the howdy rascal emoji you can make just by typing :howdy:. Hello to Milan Marcino. And there's Afriel with his violins in the hive mind. And there's some goat song and some Niddlet and the T.W. Arundel and that bat and the young Levite guy. Look at that. He's there. I still have a howdy on my face. Welcome. We hope you're feeling virtually not alone. I'm clicking a lot of things right now. Here's another one.
Like love. Love is worth saving. I don't know love.
Now encompasses everything. Does it not?
It's all there is.
It's all there is.
You choose survival, social, wisdom, or heart.
I'm not. We're going to end up, if we continue down this vein of tit for tat, eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth. Okay. Talking about proportionality, and I'm going to say this, and it's going to sound really harsh because I don't know how to say it any other way. Life sucks, and then you die. Okay. You're always going to get spit on. I'm going to get spit on because I'm a Christian. Kezi's going to get spit on because he's a Jew. Okay. And we're all going to suffer some kind of oppression in our life. And if that's the thing that, if we're going to start keeping score on our oppression, which is what most of the world is doing today, actually, then we're going to make ourselves miserable and we're going to fail to live. And we won't be able to love either. We'll forget how to love.
Okay. Okay. Howdy. Okay, you see how this works. If you're not a channel member and you type howdy, that's what happens. And you can see how to properly type : howdy : But if you are a channel member like Peter Penrosebach, this happens live in the Hive Mind chat. A big howdy from Howdy Rascal and myself. Makes you feel virtually not alone, like you got a bubble accent. What the heck? Hello, everyone, says McMosev. That's who, you don't know. If you don't know, there's a McMo show on Sundays he does called the Sunday Chill Stream. It looks like this a lot of the times when you don't see anything. And you can find it over here at this thing here. And what he does is he chills out and he makes something during the stream. And then he plays it at the end of the stream, like this.
Words. Buzzwords are holy words,
Yeah.
and estuary is magic. Okay, whatever.
Now this time, this spirit is so fuel to
Whoa. Take it back a notch, pal. They deserve a savings throw against this version of McMo's masterpiece. You can join him as he makes it. All the cool kids do. I saw them over there. But first, before I expose you to it, let me give you some of those savings throws against the mind control he embeds in audio, and I cast upon yourselves with this show. You get to pick between survival, social, wisdom, or heart as the basis for your resistance to the mind control. If the die representing that resistance gets a 10 or higher, you have made your savings throw and take half damage from the mind control in this show and the rest of your day. If it's under 10, you take full damage, but bonuses are usually available. Survival, social, wisdom, or heart? Choose. Oh, survivalist. That's a nat one. I said bonuses usually apply, not now. Not if that comes up. You failed. You take full damage from the mind control. Socialists, on the other hand, are doing well with a 15 today. Lovers of wisdom, the number of transformation, 11 for you. And heart, folks, what is this? What is this? +3 to next stream save. That's a nat 20 for you. You've made it and then some. Indigo kids, you get to see your die, but not for a good reason. That's a nat 1. No bonuses for you. But you do like to pair it up with another die, and that's something special in and of itself, ain't it?
And estuary is magic. Okay, whatever.
Now this time, this spirit is so fuel to estuary if you ask me. But then
Buzzwords are holy words. Buzzwords are holy words. Buzzwords are holy words. And estuary. Buzzwords are holy words. Buzzwords are holy words. And buzzwords are holy words. And estuary is magic. Buzzwords are holy words. 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 And buzzwords are holy words. And estuary. Okay.
Special welcome to new member quote song. Please type : behold : to get a beholder emoji or something.
Wait. I just gotta get this.
It keeps. Hey, Kikatron is. Kikatron. Hey, the cat. Okay, and the crotch shot. Welcome. I really want to get to delivering on the title of today's stream, Monopoly Violins, and the thumbnail. And I think that the reason that I'm so eager to get to delivering on the PvP server thumbnail and the Monopoly Violins headline is because I'm drinking the Grimgriz blend, Sample A. That's right, we have a new blend of coffee live in development. This one is from Ethiopia and Colombia, according to the label, as provided by the Evansville Coffee Company, where you can buy such lovely products as the Justin Morning coffee blend of beans there. He prefers to have natural Ethiopia washed Kenya, natural Honduras, with notes of strawberry, milk chocolate, and sweet orange. And see, the reason I hope that this is my favorite of the blends sent to sample for me is because it says Ethiopia and Colombia, and I know that the Ethiopian people of the Orthodoxy have a lot of stuff. And so, like, maybe doing business with that country is better for everyone, and it tastes delicious. Or maybe it's a like horrible evil guy who runs a plantation factory of slaves. I'll never know. This show brought to you by the Shadow Cabal, including the Shadow Cabal executive producers, Upcycle Club, and the German Dragon.
This anyway, back to the main point about morality.
What makes you assume that I'm not about to feed you all to the crocodile? What makes you assume that I'm not about to feed you all to the crocodile? What makes you assume that I'm not about to feed you all to the crocodile?
That's very exciting. Hello. I see the assassins have failed.
The horse doesn't automatically play.
Did you get that on video? No.
Mom, I'm not going to.
That's I'll show you later.
Look, the gator, obviously.
Send me that. 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 Hey, yo.
I just feel bad for this kid. My God, just trying to get
Yes,
it's okay.
okay.
So then, therefore, let's deliver on this PvP server and Monopoly Violins stuff. Well, you see, for me, I think it was one of the movies with Leonardo DiCaprio in it, or maybe it was one of the movies with the guy who played Loki and made him gay, the Marvel fella, the Ben Affleck's buddy, Matt, whatever that, Damon. Maybe it was him, right? I don't know. But it was this movie about the polices versus the bad guy, mafias, and how the mafia guys had a guy who would like join the police academy, and yeah, they got some of those movies. And it was like, the thing is, we have this monopoly on violins. Like only certain people are allowed to play violins, and what we do is we hope that the people that we allow to have this monopoly on violins use it appropriately, as conducted by the will of the people, as incorporated through the legislation, and somehow the will of the people that's incorporated as the body of the nation has opened the floodgates of perhaps it's because you're fat and didn't play paintball for Jesus, and you have too many medical conditions to join the military, that they're influxing this whole swath of horde of fighting age males, or perhaps it's a literal invasion force of cartel gangs. We'll never know. But the thing is, what do you do when the people you've given the monopoly on playing the violin to start playing the fiddle and the way you don't want to? Well, good thing you know that this is a PvP server, and you don't have any delusions about what's good and true and right and being safe your whole life.
It's a whisper in your ear, now listen here. Remember, Embody, it's all so clear. No hidden strings, no puppeteer. We're by your side, have no fear. I cherish truth. I cherish truth. Remember, Embody, there is no agency. We want what's best for you.
And now, for reasons I'm not quite sure, let's get a casino deck card of the show for this part. You see, the next part, don't forget to get your Justin's Morning Coffee and get used to ordering from our good friends at Evansville Coffee before what I'm hoping is called. Currently, I'm hoping it's called the General Grind. My selection of beans. You see, doing business with each other, if we don't find out they're horrible people, is a great way to foster community across the internet and the miles and the Amazon shipping through UPS, for whom which I hope to be a Christmas elving again. Casino deck card of the show is the Six of Spades. And similarly, for reasons other than that I don't understand, I've selected to bring up this portion of a video on the YouTube channel called The Magician. And it's called Secrets in Plain Sight, Part 1 by Scott Onstadt, particularly at the hour and 22nd minute. Here we go.
Was Neapolitan obelisks left in the world. Heliopolis was the cult center for the 9 great Egyptian gods, collectively called the Ennead. We'll learn more about the Ennead in San Francisco.
Part that I'm interested in, this here thing called the Ennead, with Aturn and Tefnut and Nut and Nephthys and Isis, Osiris, Set, Geb, and Shu. Those ones, and how later they talk about how the Enneagram is derived from you matching the archetype of one of those particular deities or something. And it's just a fascinating little tidbit, a rabbit hole, perhaps, that I can offer anyone to climb down. That was fun. That was fun. That's right. McMo says, donate to my Ko-Fi so that I can donate to his Ko-Fi and he can afford to buy the coffee. It's a loop of community support, really. I do when I can contribute to your Ko-Fi there, McMo, because you make such wonderful things as you got one loaded, I'm sure. That's the long one. Oh, dear.
Those used to get. We're the new homeless. Yeah? Oh, wow. It's true.
I taught you how to clip, right? So how do you do a clip mail for me? You can, make a clip and then tweet it and then add Pastor Paul say clip mail.
Hey, Pastor Paul. Are you saying we should LARP as adults?
With, civic, human, responsible duties? Why to do it again? That's really what we're trying to do. And give and act like fully mature men for the benefit of everyone. For the benefit of everyone, he said. Is that part? LARP like grown men for the benefit of everyone?
Is that what you're recommending people do
On the other side of the LARP gates, Pastor Paul?
My question to you.
Sir, from this side of the LARP gate, where
Basically get what all the homeless those used to get.
We're the
You know, it's been a while since we made a stop through at the clip stream on the Discord to let the Reapers shine. Here's a minute from Mills.
But the parts where they don't intersect are fascinating. Dreer is down for the culture war. He is fighting that culture war. He's in there with both fists on his blog, living in Budapest, doing it, writing these books. And then, of course, he writes this book on angels, demons, and UFOs. And it's like, and then, of course, today I see that Tucker Carlson has talked about being attacked by a demon. And it's our Orthodox friend from overseas who's doing the interviewing. And I'm thinking, oh, Peugeot, I wish you were more wrong. Oh, gosh, Grim Goose is going to clip the heck out of that. But that's how I'm feeling.
You see, there you get a false name attribution. I hardly clip anything. But I do have an army of Reapers. No. And speaking of which, Goat Song has even joined that army by offering us this clip of pure wisdom, as he labels it.
Guides their actions. It's this differentiation that I always make, and I would try to get across to students between always be clear about what you know and what you believe. You don't know many things. You know your name. You know when you were born. You probably know who your father is, but that's not absolute unless you've had a DNA test, and only if you trust DNA tests. So you know who your mother is. Mm-hmm. You believe this man is your father. Why? Because your mother told you he was. So you believe things generally because someone has told you this is to be true, but you don't really know for sure. Well, because we know so little, we tend to go by beliefs. So we believe in this, or we believe in that. You know, you believe that your cult leader is the answer to everything. It guides their actions. It's this differentiation that
we've entered the clip. Thank you to the Bean Distributor for bringing us to 91% of our Ko-Fi goal. Looks like I'll be able to give you a $5 next week, McMo. Welcome, everybody. This is the PvP server stream, Monopoly Violence, and we are in LARP Gate, Year 5, the Winter Solstice. And as such, things like, hey, are you finally going to use the clip stream this year and reward the Reapers for their free labor? And it looks like we are. I personally prefer to integrate it into a single show, upvoted, where the clips have been upvoted on the Discord with the 7 indigo emoji die, and make a collection, a montage. But until that is accomplished, we will make the occasional stop by the clip stream and highlight users such as Mills and Goat Song for their contribution. Agency deck card of the show is the 5 of spades for what part? What were you going to do next? Oh no, this is a PvP server. You're about to get sniped. It's time to...
The list? Yes, any of the first level ones.
I'm gonna get a soda. Anyone want one? Hey, Graham, I'm not in the room, right?
What room? I want to cast Magic Missile.
A room where he's casting all these spells from.
He hasn't cast anything yet. I am, though, if you'd listen. I'm casting Magic Missile. Why are you casting Magic Missile? There's nothing to attack here. I'm attacking the darkness.
Oh. That's right. We see you, Mills. Look at us seeing and being seen. It's all. Now, the darkness I'm casting the light on in this particular stream is the one of ignorance of those of you who also have a flotilla ship in this flotilla thing. If you also have a ship and you use the clip feature on YouTube, you may be subject to what we call a reaping bot. But as YouTube is always on the side of the creator, what is available is this section here, this tab. See, if you go into your clips on the bottom left where my head is, you'll see the clips that you've made, but you also have this buy viewers option when somebody takes a clip of you, such as this one by Joy Frimpong on Grimgriz and the Thunder Bay Diva. And then you click it and click share this tab instead, and it runs.
Definitely more of like a prophetic edge roll that likes to like throw out hot takes and see if they stick and lead the charge saying, hey, you don't have to be a fancy somebody with something magical to say. There's a role. You can participate. You don't have to just watch and consume. Like, all of your eyes and your voices are important, and you're a player on the board. You're not just sitting in your couch watching it go by. At least you shouldn't be. And you don't have to be.
I feel so seen right now. Special thanks to the Shadow Cabal. So say we all.
In the first decade of the 20th century, G.I. Gurdjieff went on a mystical journey where he met with a number of remarkable men. At Mount Athos in Greece, he was supposedly entrusted with the key to decoding ancient Egyptian knowledge preserved by the Sufi Sarmong Brotherhood. The key he received is the Enneagram and the means to decipher it. The Enneagram is the fundamental hieroglyph of a universal language. All knowledge can be included in the Enneagram, and with the help of the Enneagram, it can be interpreted. Gurdjieff's philosophy was popularized by his pupil Ouspensky, and through him the Enneagram found its way into modern psychology. The Enneagram of personality is a typology described by Riso and Hudson that's used in business, psychotherapy, arts, education, and for spiritual development. The Baha'i Faith correspondingly uses a 9-pointed star as its symbol. Baha'i scripture specifies that every house of worship must feature a 9-sided great room.
Well, you might not know it, but here in the corner there's a guy named Pete. And Pete runs a channel called Strange Theology, which is a really great mimetic namespace for a channel, and I hope he can do something wonderful with it. The next few moments are brought to you while I go get another delicious blend from Evansville's Coffee. It's not Justin's morning coffee, which you can currently purchase to support the corner and everyone in it, but it is a blend from those people. So something. Here's Pete, the 33rd minute.
Right, that you're building community that way, and this is probably the hardest thing to build because it's built out of people. It's and people are dynamic, right? And so once again, you as a leader of any business or church or any organization, it is it's a fun and exciting world to live in, but it's also incredibly challenging, and it has there's a lot of failure that you have to work through because people are just hard. People are dynamic. I'll say it that way. People change. Some people, people have good days and bad days, so you never quite know how this person might show up to work one day. I remember working at I used to work at a summer camp, and so I'd get all these kids who just honestly, they didn't know what to do with their summer, so they didn't have any shared focus. They didn't have any goals or anything like that. They weren't very skilled. And by the end of summer, we would have a fully functioning team of young people committed to the mission of our summer camp. And one of the things I did was high adventure activities. So they would have skills like belaying people up a rock climbing wall, coaching people on rock climbing.
Is paintball for Jesus best done through summer camps? Should I crawl up Rick Walker's ass and ask him why he hasn't done anything with the IP yet? After I have that screenshot of him saying he'd take care of it for me? These and other questions may be answered later in the stream. Hi, I'm Grim Grizz. This is the PvP server stream, Monopoly Violins. Now, the reason this stream came about, I can dig up if I do a good job. Let's see here. Play some more branding while you do it.
Slime! What? It's a river of slime!
For those of you just listening, the following is a Friday Morning Nameless commercial. All right, so what happened is earlier today I was doing some missionary work over on the Devil's Champion the Dark Maga Devil Champion, the Dark Maga Devils Champions platform, also known as Twitter X Network, and I saw something worth spreading in my missionary work over there. And it was a video of one Mike Benz. Mike Benz is my personal favorite explainer of what he calls the blob, what many of you still in the Blue Church know as the deep state there. The Five of Diamonds is their card for the show. And he's the best public explainer of it. And I said in my work over there, I said, I really want to sit down all the CIA and DOD folks with a plate of sativa cannabis brownies and a 24-hour stream of G.I. Joe. You see, because what happened was this weekend, live on the Broken Clock Tower Discord, we did a Saturday morning cartoon watch party of some G.I. Joe. And I was reminded of the glory days of the 1980s when we had yet to beat communism and still, therefore, were pumping the patriotism into the children by featuring toy products they could buy that did war. and Zartan, and he gets his color in the skin, and he's like, oh, it's terrible. And it was just a really great time. And I think that those of us that were brought up with such intense programming, it's like He-Man and the Masters of the Universe and other Saturday morning ritualistic cartoons, it's worthwhile venture to take a little trip down memory lane and revisit the product themselves, to reactivate all of the core programmings and remember how deep in your Shadow Lantern those programmings have become.
Although this world will devastate you, and rejoice although this world will penetrate you, and rejoice although you will not survive. Rejoice you'll never make it out alive.
Excellent rehearsal, gentlemen.
And rejoice, your hair, it smells like burning hair. Oh, rejoice, your nails all got chewed off.
What they did in response.
Rejoice, and holy fuck, you're bleeding there. Oh, rejoice, you burn your whole beard off. Rejoice, despite the fact this world will hurt you. And rejoice despite the fact this world will kill you. And rejoice despite the fact this world will tear you down. Rejoice because you're trying your best.
Hey, I love that one. That's gorgeous. Thank you, brother.
In response to 2014, what the State Department did, which again, remember, State Department means CIA and DOD too. What the State Department did is they went all over Central and Eastern Europe and one by one got all of these countries who were economically dependent on Russia to sanction Russia and especially their gas imports as punishment for Russia's military support or alleged military support through the little green men of the Ukrainian counter coup. In these countries, in Slovakia, these countries in Latvia, Lithuania, these countries in Germany, these countries, all over CEE did not want to do that. They had to be pressured. There had to be carrots and sticks from a State Department delegation to get to regionalize the conflict around Ukraine so that the other CEE countries would cut off their own leg in order to starve Russia financially.
What's reality? I don't know. When my bird was looking at my computer monitor, I thought, that bird has no idea what he's looking at. And yet, what does the bird do? Does he panic? No, he can't really panic. He just does the best he can. Is he able to live in a world where he's so ignorant? Well, he doesn't really have a choice. The bird's okay, even though he doesn't understand the world. You're that bird looking at the monitor, and you're thinking to yourself, I can figure this out. Maybe you have some bird ideas. Maybe that's...
Imagine a world where boundaries blur between reality and fiction, with Mikhail Gorbachev leading the charge. Gorbachev didn't just challenge political norms, he dared to break the fourth wall in storytelling. Tear down that fourth wall, he exclaimed, inviting us into a new era of engagement. His metaphorical call wasn't for Berlin alone. It was a clarion call to storytellers and audiences alike. Engage directly, break barriers, and foster a dialogue. Gorbachev's words echo in the halls of creativity. As storytellers, it's our turn to tear down that fourth wall, inspired by Gorbachev's daring challenge. Join us in this creative revolution. Tear down the walls that confine your stories. Share, like, and subscribe for more inspiration.
Ah, there we go. Corey brings us up to the next topic of the show. I'm going to drop an invite. What do you know? It's Sunday. Why not? In case you want to come in and talk about it. Peanut the Squirrel. Is it new? What's that? What's the gorilla's name? You remember the one where the child fell into the gorilla in capture and the gorilla took care of the child as if it was a child. And then the forces that came in and they shot the gorilla dead because it was a symbolic representation of what it's like to be the tax cattle. Is Peanut the new one of those? Harambe. Thank you, Goat Song, for saying his name. You know, when I'm floating, it's hard. It's Harambe. Remember Harambe. Is Peanut the new Harambe? Let us know. Let us know. May the saints that have gone before us pray for us. Casino deck, Canadian deck card of the show is the Queen of Spades. It's Queen of Spades. Queen of All right, so then, therefore, why don't we play? How is the election going to play out? We're veering on the 4 days away from the. It's going to take at least 3 or 4 days for them to finish the counting part, and so we're in for a next seat. Now, what we do some speculation, perhaps, on what happens if the Blue Donkeys win or if the Red Elephants win, right? What those things mean. There's been a lot of hope this season poured into the Red Elephant team. What with them assembling the Avengers, not the X-Men. How did you call it the X-Men, Peterson? They're not the mutants. They're the opposite of the mutants. And why do the transhumanism superheroes? Like my Goat Dragon executive producer would say, why not we make new heroes that can actually, maybe Reed Richards before he got stretchy. Reed Richards? Whatever. The 4 guy before he got stretchy. Maybe anyway, what's gonna happen? Like, say the donkeys win, right? I don't know. I know that it seems like they hope that either whatever side they let win in the news, in the mainstream media, is it seems like whatever side they let win, they want the result that the other side goes violent, right? It seems to be that's the case. And in that case, they would want the moral outrage of the Blue Donkey win to see what happens, because I don't know that the moral outrage of the Blue Donkeys, unless they're ready to activate the troops that they've been importing from south of the border already. In that case, they might let the Red Elephants win. And so that they would be called to activate the wonderful people here to be Americans. Okay, nobody wants to come in. Fine then. I'm taking the train out. Bye, everybody. I hope those saving throws last you. Train Interruptus by Chad the Girl Dad. What's going on, Chad?
How's it going?
You know, YouTube has been encouraging me to do the vertical live streams.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. I want to do one just so I can stay platform compliant. Oh, is that a big microphone you got there?
Yeah, I'm trying to hop over on the actual computer because it's a better setup right now. So
always is.
But I didn't want you to
desktops.
I didn't want you to like roll out on me before we got there. So let me just
Quite a good of you.
Yes, very good, very good.
Oh, guys, Nidalet is trying to give a 7 indigo die. Can somebody colon 7 indigo colon for Nidalet there and get that die in there? Hey, there's Goat Song. Yeah, Avriel wants you to have a chance. And now we've all got to adjust our verticality again. Look at this guy. He's way the piss up there.
I can shrink.
Shrink away. Yeah.
To fit. There you go.
There it is. There you go, little Ed. You can have some 7 in the goes. Make everybody feel better. Those are +7 to saving throws if applied appropriately.
Wow.
The luchador is coming out. It's like, don't end the stream. We're getting ready. Well, while we get ready, we do have this delicious branding to play. Remember it.
This agency. We want
I'm not a cat.
We all know that there is no agency any living gent can see doing what is right for me. Is lifting up my bro so he can grow some eyes to see that doing what is right for me increases all our agency.
I'm pretty sure we're ready, but here's this one anyway.
But he's overcoming something rather than, a true marksman will look at the arrows available and say, if I want to hit the target, I'll pick the best arrow so that I can hit the target. A true marksman might say, all of these arrows are crap. This arrow is at least crappy in a way that I can work with. But he's overcoming something rather than, a true marksman will look at the arrows available and say, if I want to hit the target, I'll pick the best arrow so that I can hit the target. A true marksman might say, all of these arrows are crap. This arrow is at least crappy in a way that I can work with.
Now see, no, where is it? No, that's not it. There's this one that, where, did you delete it? You don't even have that layout anymore. With everyone else is all wide. I don't have the wide layout anymore, fellas, but here we are. Chad, I like this verticality. I approve this message.
There we go. I'll sit right here so we can be in an angle.
All right, so Chad, you've made it. What's happening Wednesday, right? That at least you want to promote.
Yeah, Wednesday we have the latest installment of the Worldly News with David Bucentel and.
David is in your news program on the Friday morning, Nameless.
That's correct. Very, very funny episode. I can't wait for all of you to see it. We also have the second episode of 30 Minutes from Afro Pilotson and Harris, or Upcycle.
Oh, do you know? Can you reveal? Thursday. Is there a secret guest again, like it was last time?
Secret guest Matthew. I know nothing more. Because I don't watch this stuff before I put it up. So if anybody ever wants to crash my ship, just send me some ridiculous stuff and put it in a video and send it to me, and I'll just post it. I won't even.
I wonder if it's Matthew Perry. I wonder if they're summoning Matthew Perry to a seance for that episode.
Dude, he'll be right. He'll come in riding a bull.
All right, Canadian agent, Queen of Spades card, goat song. Welcome.
Well, thanks. You wanted political commentary. Okay.
How's it going up there? Are you guys getting rid of Trudeau, or is he still going to be dictator next time around? Or do you even have elections the same time we do?
Oh, we won't have elections the same time you do. Ours is they get to pick. So ours is next fall, if he can hang on that long. But it's complicated in Canada. Welcome. So yeah, unfortunately, it does look like he's going to go, but the problem is like the U.S., the two main parties are not particularly different, other than in sort of surface stuff. So,
Jesmond the Bard from the D&D game. I owe you a T-shirt. Good to see you. How you doing?
I'm doing very well. I forget what the topic that we're discussing is, or Gorbachev or something.
Gorbachev is always a valid topic around here.
It sounds like you're talking about the election, and I'm Canadian, so I forgot about that entirely. But I'd probably vote for the elephants because they're cool animals.
I'm pretty sure that voting is consent to be governed, and I'm uncomfortable with it in principle. But I'm just wondering and speculating how the stage play is going to play out. We've had a lot of surprises this season, so it's are they going to give us a hopeful narrative and do something, or just continue down this? The oppression will continue.
The oppression will continue, and the war will continue.
Well, the war, I'm sure, will continue, but whether or not we get to feel like the red team is winning for a season or not, what do you think?
I don't know. I think that's really interesting because I'm wondering what happens once the carrot top dude is eliminated off the board. Where do you take the narrative from there? That's going to be the most interesting thing, like in the next several years. But I don't want the carrot top guy off the board. But whatever. I mean, who cares what I want?
Well, I'll tell you, if I was writing the script, it would play out like this. Team Red would win the election, and the whatever positions were granted by the situation would be such that if key members of the top all got wiped out, the presidency would fall to one Tulsi Gabbard, who will lead us as the first female presidents through the nuclear winter. So that's what would happen if I was writing it. I don't know what the actual writers are going to do. It's very exciting.
Mm-hmm. The bookie, yeah, I like it. It's very interesting. Yeah, it's who knows, man. Who knows what the way it's going to unfold? My actual personal thinking is that they will not let Carrot Man in the office, and no matter what the circumstances are, and then we will have a memory hole of the last 10 years developed. And I'm like, let's bring it, man.
There was the thumbnail I showed. The new season of Ingress, that game that started it all, is like erased memory holes, erased memory, forgotten memories. I forget what their new season was called, but it's along those lines. That's very exciting.
Mm-hmm.
It's fascinating now that that it can be memory hold. But on the other hand, they're tanking the reputation of the MSM so much that there seems like they're doing the control mechanisms would be through the new paradigm of TikTok, YouTube, podcasting, etc.
Well, I think they've already co-opted your sort of mainstream alternative media, Russell Brand's, that crew that sort of stepped up during COVID to provide us some credibility in media messaging, and then they'll be used to guide the flock.
I loved watching that whole the whole flipping of that narrative over. This microphone is awesome. It picks everything up.
Have some elbow scratch ASMR. Nothing's good for you here.
Scratch my weenus. I'm scratching my weenus. Yeah. So but if you watch stuff that happened from like 2019. See, I'm like a noob in paying attention to these sorts of things, at least on a somewhat close level, but I was paying close enough attention over the last at least 5 years to watch the narratives just kind of like flip around and do almost 180s in a lot of strange areas, just to say exactly what you're saying. I mean,
there's a fun prediction. Will there be another pandemic?
Yes.
Season? Yes.
No.
Nope. Chad says not this season. Jasmine, everybody going to get sick again?
Oh, this season? No. I think they'll play out the Ukraine-Iran war bit, and then the pandemic will come after that. Probably blame it on the Russians or the Iranians or the North Koreans. They've released a biological agent. Who knows when? No, you don't think so?
Nope. It's always gonna be the wild card. It's going to be Ra is going to belch upon the earth.
Oh yeah, that's coming.
Mm-hmm.
That's definitely coming.
Once all the books have been kindled?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Right.
Yoav, welcome aboard. Good to see you. Now we got to be respectable.
Yeah.
Sorry, I've been making a point of purchasing what I think are important books. And even though I haven't got to reading them yet, I've just been sort of collecting my library of like, oh, things are getting deleted. I better get an old version of this.
I have fantasies about getting together and doing Fahrenheit 451 practices as like, what do you call it? An antidote to TikTok's memory shortening. People getting together and practice remembering things.
Oh, interesting. Do a Fahrenheit 451, but do it on the online. Oh, that's interesting. Well, I think that mountain's going to come crumbling that Yoav talked about in the past.
Yoav in a mountain. What? Catch everybody up. People have never seen you before. Who are you, Yoav, and what's your mountain?
Okay. I'm an engineer from Israel. And a few points. First, on the statement that the war will continue. This is not how wars go. If it is a real war, then it does end. I mean, somebody loses at the end. Somebody loses the will to fight in the end. And the war in the Ukraine is a real one. With about 1 million dead or one side, I'm not going to tell you which, is going to lose. And is going to lose fast.
I do hear there's lithium in Ukraine. So
there's a lot. It's a very rich country. It's everything. I mean, it's a country that's so blessed by God with everything you want. I mean, there's plenty of things to eat, and there's coal under the earth, and there's iron, whatever. And most of it is on the Russian side. On the west side, there's lots of cows. Okay, so that war is going to end. There is a war in the Middle East that is quite intense. This kind of intense wars tend to end in the end, one way or another. It's like a fire. It burns and it ends. It can renew after you have new growth. After 10 years, the forest grows up and you can have the fire going up on again, but the war will end. And it's striking me that is you're too concentrated in your internal North American world. Yes, if that was the only continent on the planet, then things would go pretty much the way you plotted them. But once those wars outside of your borders are going to be won, it's going to be a new world, and there are going to be outside forces. And it's the way of war that you have to react to that. You cannot ignore a real war.
Tell me it's all about these bricks that nobody on my side is like familiar with. This, like that whole thing, like, because the way it seems to me it'll play out is that in say 30 years, we'll be under China and BRICS will be on top. But that's just because I've heard of it and nobody else talks about it, so I'm very sus.
There are lots of players. China is a serious player. Russia is a serious player. Iran is a serious player. Sometimes they play together. Sometimes they play against each other. Russia and Iran had a war once upon a time. China and Russia had a war quite recently. At the moment, they're playing together. Things will change. Things will change abruptly. Things will change significantly. You wanted me to repeat my story about that mountain. Shall I?
Yes, please.
It was a prophecy of mine that didn't turn exactly true already, but it is an example of how fast things can change. The war in the Middle East started about a year ago, just a little bit more than a year ago, on a pretense. Allegedly, there was some Jews daring to come out the Mount Temple, and visit the mosque there. The Muslims get very offended when the Jews are coming to visit their mosques. And that was the pretense, although nothing of the sort happened. So you have the Temple Mount. This is where the Jewish temple, the first Jewish temple and the second Jewish temple used to stand. And it was a holy place even before Judaism began.
Is the Ark of the Covenant under there?
It's in Ethiopia.
I have no idea where it is hidden. I have absolutely no idea. At the very top of the mountain, because mountain is the top. At the very top of the mountain, there is the Golden Dome. There's the very famous thing. Yes. The very famous mosque in Jerusalem, there's a golden dome on top of it. And it's actually not in use. It's a beautiful place, but it's not in active use as a place of worship. The really very sacred mosque on that mountain is at the edge of a flat surface. So, remember Herod, the one with the Jesus story? There was a King Herod. Remember?
That's the one that ordered the murder of all the.
Yeah. The funny thing about all those stories is that they're all true. It's all a real history, and when it's real history, it's gonna hit you on the face because it belongs to the real world. So the mountain used to go like that, and they had a temple at the top of the mountain. Yeah, but King Herod wanted a lot of people to kind of visit the temple. He wanted to be a center of a great religion because it's good for business. If everybody is coming as tourists into Jerusalem and bringing the money with them and spending the money with them, it's very good for business. So he wanted the temple to be very important. So he turned the mountain to be like that. How do you do that? Nowadays, you just blow the top, but they didn't have the dynamite then to blow the top, so you just fill it at the sides. You fill the sides with earth and with empty spaces, with rooms and rooms upon rooms and rubble upon rooms until you get the mountain flat. So you have a flat mountain.
So he wanted to flatten the mountain, and he did it by building rooms and stuff around the top.
Yes. And then at the edge of the square mountain, right at the edge, threatening to fall off, the Muslims much later erected the Al-Aqsa Mosque. And this is a really very important, maybe the second or third most important place for Islam. It's a really very important second place, and it's constant use. And this is why they do object very much if the Jews come and visit it. You cannot have that. Israel has got political access to that area in 1967. The history was that it was for some 400 years under the rule of the Ottoman Empire, which is Turkey. And then in the First World War, the British got the land. And then in 1948, Jordan, there is a kingdom called Jordan, and they got the land. In 1967, Israel got it. But Israel didn't want to mess with those holy places because they belong to Islam. Didn't want to get the Muslims very mad at us, more than they are already mad at us already. So we let the Muslim run it. So the whole area is run by the Muslims. There's this kind of NGO or whatever. It's called the Waqf. That's the first part of the story. Now, a little bit about geography of the place. This mountain is more or less the last mountain before a great valley. When you descend this mountain to the east, you go down and down and down and down and down, and then you go below sea level. And then you go down and down and down again till you get to the Dead Sea. And that valley is the lowest place on Earth. And it has become the lowest place on Earth because it's very geologically active. There's a rift there. And the rift goes all the way from deep in Africa to Syria. Yeah. You can see that line between where the lakes are. And the rift goes into the sea. When you go down, it goes into the sea, and then it goes all the way to Africa. It's a giant rift in the earth. And it's very, very geologically active at the moment. It keeps spreading and moving all the time. I'll give you an example. Up north, a little bit more north of that little lake, there is after 1967, Israel built a fortress, and it had huge cannon. The cannon could go all the way to Amman. Can you point to Amman on the map? This is Amman. The cannon will go all the way to Amman from north of that lake. Yeah, and it was a huge fortress with concrete. We're going deep, people. Somebody said. And the concrete was about 1 meter thick or 2 meters thick or whatever, very thick concrete to that fortress. And then the rift did its job, and it tore that fortress into two. It just tore it like a piece of paper. So you can, maybe we'll build that fortress. It was after 67, and already it's unsafe. You cannot use it for anything already. This is how active the rift is. And once every couple of hundred of years, a city will go down. There will be an earthquake and the city will go down. For example, in the 10th century, there was a big city called Ramle, much closest to the seashore. It was the biggest city around. And there was this earthquake, and nothing remained of that city. Because of this geological activity, remember, the Temple of the Mount, when the mosque is built, is the closest mountain to that rift. And once upon a time, every once in a while, the earth shakes and cracks appear on that construction that King Herod built 2,000 years ago. It's beginning to crack. And sometimes it's fixed and sometimes it isn't. Last time it was really fixed well enough is where the British were around and they got access to the mosque and they got their engineers to inspect it and see what's going under it. Nowadays, you cannot really control what's happening on that mountain because it's managed by the Muslims, and the Muslims don't really like when you mess up with the holy stuff. So someday, that was my prediction. Someday, it might be soon, it might be far, there's going to be this earthquake, and it doesn't need to be a major earthquake. It could be quite a minor earthquake. And this whole construction that is built on actually dust piled on stone, piled on dust, piled on chambers, piled on dust. This old structure is going to crack, and that temple that is maybe the second or third most holy temple to the Islam is going to slide down the hill. And that is going to start a war, that's for sure. So my prediction was that we're not living in safe times because things can that happen, and even if you don't want the war, it will happen upon you. But then my prediction was not very accurate because the war started seriously anyway. So nobody waited for the earthquake.
Curious as to why you think that the earthquake would cause the war. I mean, of all things, to do damage.
Because
where would it, like when it goes down the hill, where would it land?
As the politics of the Middle East go, if the second most sacred mosque to the Muslims just falls down suddenly, who is going to be blamed about it? Anyway, people are such. So my prediction as to the election in the US, it doesn't really matter. We are all screwed up.
Truth.
I want to mention another issue. You just because coffee was mentioned a lot today. If you look up in Google or whatever, coffee was discovered in the 14th century. The story is that there was some kind of a shepherd in Ethiopia, and he went after the sheep, and he saw that the sheep are eating the coffee and make them high, and he tried them on, and then the people of Ethiopia started to drink coffee, and then it was brought to Arabia and through a port in Yemen. It was sent to the World Wide World, and it was adapted in Turkey, and it was adapted in Europe, and everybody started drinking coffee, like say by the 16th century. But it was discovered in the 14th century. Now, people this is not the new world, it is the old world. It's older than Europe. People who have been living in Ethiopia before anybody got to Europe at all. People have been going after the sheep in Ethiopia for at least 1 million years. Where was coffee? I mean, we say
that the first coffee beans in Ethiopia.
No, we said that the world was created, don't know, 4 billion years ago, and coffee was discovered in the 14th century? Where was it hiding? I mean, the people that lived in Ethiopia 2 million years ago, they were really pressed for food. They would eat anything. I mean, it's not that the
What
meat.
are the implications you have of this recent emergence of coffee?
The things happen suddenly.
And things are like waves that we're all floating in.
We're trying to keep floating.
Which we are trying to keep afloat. LARP! We have the ability to LARP and LARP hard. This is McMo's fault, as you can see. LARP! We have the ability to LARP and LARP hard. That was a McMo one, I think. I believe that was a McMo masterpiece. I think that was his stylistic impression, signature thereof. Okay. Oh, he drops the bombs and then leaves. He's like, here's some truth and facts. And then he's just gone. Just, all right, well. So it is. I guess we just reel in the impact of that.
I've heard that coffee myth before, obviously, but yeah, it's this weird desire for humans to say this thing started here. It's the same thing as like the universe. What started 13.8 billion years ago? You don't have a fucking clue how old the universe is.
Sir.
They might. Or they go in cycles or spirals, shall we say. But
time is a flat circle, but they start again if they're starting again. Jasmine, enlighten us. Bring us something from Canada. What's up there, Rand?
There are no earthquakes and no goats eating coffee, but it's a lovely day up here in Canada, and yeah, how intense that was. And I have so many questions, and he just leaves. My main inquiry would be, so
go ahead.
The earthquakes, they happen every 100 years. How soon is that going to happen? Also, what about the red heifers? Does that have something to do with the war starting? I have so many questions.
I think we're supposed to have a pole flip. I'm very excited for.
That's coming too, yeah.
Oh,
hey, Jasmine, what part of Canada are you from? I'm also Canadian.
I'm in Kamloops right now. Do you know where that is?
I do. I went to university there, actually.
Oh, cool.
Sorry.
Is it understood among Canadians that like Toronto is completely controlled, like the University of Toronto is completely controlled by the intelligence agencies? Or is that just something weird YouTubers know?
It's just maybe.
Doesn't Vervaeke still teach there?
Yes.
He might indeed.
Actually, supposedly the University of Western Ontario in London, Ontario, is the Harvard, so that would probably be the one they control.
Chad, the girl dad, you have a guitar out. Let us hear it. Make noise.
I hear the kalimba too.
Indeed.
Yeah.
me, gentlemen, what layer of the kayfabe is our attention most expediently spent at? It's certainly not the political sphere.
Mythological.
I can turn this down a little bit, and then you guys just talk, and I'll jam. How about that?
That would be it. That's working.
I am curious, Grim. Have you used that kalimba lately? Like on streams? I haven't been able to catch any streams.
Don't ever tell people about how you haven't been watching. Thanks.
I roll my own throws now. I've learned how to do it.
That's part of it, man. I used to try and roll it against my nicotine addiction. I give myself saving throws against a nicotine addiction.
You talked about fasting before. I have to fast because I don't have food control. So I do today and Monday, and I just eat breakfast on Monday, and that's it.
Oh yeah, like I think that's the way that like your body will heal itself if you quit putting poison in it for 3 days.
Yeah, it's good. It's been working for me.
Hey, Sherry's out there. We should read a poem or something. You got any poems, Jasmine? You look like a guy with a poem. With that, I think it's the sweater and the
I have the Apostles' Creed.
Oh, do that. Do that.
Okay. I believe in. Do you guys know it? Do you guys know the Apostles' Creed?
No. Well, sort of, but refresh us.
All right. I believe in God, the Father Almighty, creator of heaven and earth, and in Jesus Christ, his only Son, our Lord, who was conceived by the Holy Spirit, born of the Virgin Mary, suffered under Pontius Pilate, was crucified, died, and was buried. He descended into hell. On the third day, he rose again from the dead. He ascended into heaven and is seated at the right hand of the Father Almighty. From there, he will come to judge the living and the dead. I believe in the Holy Spirit, the Holy Catholic Church, and the communion of saints, the forgiveness of sins and the resurrection of the body, and the life everlasting. Amen.
Amen.
So yeah, I've been praying the rosary lately because my aunt has kind of gotten me into it, and wow, is it ever interesting? Actually, there's a lot to it. Each day has their own holy mysteries. So like the one for Sunday is the glorious mysteries, and for each decade, each 10 beads, you're supposed to think of a different mystery while doing the prayers. And I mean, if you have ADHD like me, it's probably the best thing ever, because your mind has to be thinking of the holy mysteries, like the resurrection is the first decade, and then your hand on the beads, and then your mouth is saying the words. So there's no possible distractions.
Gnosis through kenosis, baby. I'm going to read this here Assassin's Creed to complement your Apostles' Creed. It goes a little like this. Stay your blade from the flesh of the innocent. High, plain sight. Never compromise brotherhood. Nothing is true. Everything. All right, Goat Song. Final thoughts.
Good luck in your election time. I hope the good guys win.
Good guys win. May the good guys win.
May the good guys win.
Jasmine, how about you there? The final closing thoughts.
God bless you all. You are such amazing people, and continue to have that fire in your heart and fighting for the truth that you know but you can't say. God bless.
All right, then Chad, you have some.
I don't know about the meaning crisis left, right, black, right, or other vices. That's all I got. Good luck.
Oh, if I could only pick it up from there. If I could. But wrong buttons everywhere. Wrong buttons everywhere. Now it's the train. Bye, everybody. Hope you had a great time. Don't forget, somebody got a +3 to next stream saves.